The top of the morning to you. This is Monday with Friday. Hoping you reach all your goals this week or that they are all scored for you. After the USA went down in a not unexpected loss to the Netherlands this past weekend in the FIFA World Cup tournament in Qatar, a dear friend of mine who I know is watching this video wrote a Facebook post that reads like this, quote, USA plays soccer, the world plays football, unquote. Her spelling is telling. She spelled the word S-U-C-K-E-R. How kind. This World Cup tournament has brought lots of heartaches to lots of people who would have thought Germany would be back at home. But back to the words soccer and football. I don't know the origin of the word soccer, and I don't really care to know, frankly. Football is sufficiently expressive as to leave me nonplussed about the choice of the word soccer to describe it. I am even more nonplussed that the USA uses the word football to describe a game that is decidedly more like handball. For in that game, isn't the ball in 22 pairs of hands 90-something% of the time? They should call that game soccer, given the number of times players from one team sock it to players in the other team in the body slams delivered to take down the player with his hands on the ball. Frankly, anybody who watches a game of handball and believes it to be football just might be a sucker. But let me move on quickly before one of my American friends tells me, Michael, please go back to where you came from. And I shall accept that only from friends who mean it in jest, for you see, should an American tell me that in all seriousness I shall use the same English that distinguishes between football and handball to deliver that American a sucker punch, not with my hands or my American feet, but with my nicely crafted English words, in which case there'll be two suckers. The one I shall have created with my words, and the poor unfortunate soul who shall have received them. It has been quite an experience living in America for more than 2 decades. I cannot keep up with American schedules, so I just keep my own schedules. I intensely dislike the frequent, loud, and unnecessary interruptions to my favorite TV shows or newscasts, whether they are American advertisements or British advertisements. I still think that the hood of my car is the roof where my head can be seen through the moonroof above, not the bonnet under which one can see my engine. I respectfully and sensibly drive on the right when in America, but back in the Caribbean or in England, I'll happily drive on the left, for there, the left is always right. In America, especially in politics and religious matters, the right is nearly always wrong. And while I'm at that, I'd like to also say that a rotary is the American circular way to refer to an O-shaped intersection, traffic intersection, that the British and we Caribbean people of Caribbean origin call a roundabout. And let me be fair, it is not only Americans who speak differently, we all do. For example, 2 non-Americans were arguing about the word P-R-E-F-E-R. One said, it's pronounced prefer. The other countered, no, it's pronounced prefer. And so they went back and forth. Prefer, 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 prefer. Finally, they saw a language professor passing by and invited him to settle the matter once for all. Professor, they asked, which of us is pronouncing this word properly? Is it prefer or prefer? Prefer or prefer? The language professor, without missing a beat, held his goatee beard and said, well, I prefer prefer. And then there were the 3 college students, an American, a Jamaican, and a Chinese exchange student who went to see a movie, exiting the building which the Jamaican called a cinema, but the American staunchly insisted was a theater. That's T-H-E-A-T-E-R, not even T-H-E-A-T-R-E. Their Chinese companion, in his pretty good but still limited English, said, man, that was a great movie, but the plot was a little vague. The Jamaican pounced on him and said, no, nah man. We pronounce it vague, not vague. It's vague, man, not vague. A little embarrassed, the Chinese student replied, forgive me. It's just a little slip of the tongue. The American seized the moment to rub it in with a little more enthusiasm than might have been necessary. No, man, it's not tongue-you, it's tongue, it's tongue. V-A-G-U-E is vague, not vague. T-O-N-G-U-E is tongue, not tongue-you. Words like these are treated not quite the way they might appear. The Chinese student, now feeling fully embarrassed and feeling set upon by his English-speaking friends, protested, all right, let's not argue about it. I am Michael Friday, and may your week ahead be messy. That's M-E-S-S-I. I'll see you again next week. Happy Monday, all the non-argumentative way to Friday.